Okay, hi, welcome to my channel. This is the first time I'm doing this, so bear with me. Okay, so we're making the Girl Scout cookie Samoa cake. So this cake obviously is so good, and right now we're making the shortbread crust. So this is gonna go on between our layers, meaning we're gonna bake it with the cake batter. So it's gonna go crust, and then you're gonna pour the cake batter over it. So I just took some shortbread cookies and I crushed them up in the bag, like you saw, with my little, I think that's a meat tenderizer, but it worked. Then we add some melted butter, as you see here. It's just like any other graham cracker crust. I guess my butter wasn't that melted, but whatever, it worked. So you're just gonna mix that up together until it becomes like a nice crust. One way I like to test it is like when I push my little spatula spoon thing and it like keeps its form. That's how I know it's good. Okay, so we add some salt, and this is just to balance it. Okay, I guess my salt didn't want to come out, so just add a little bit of salt. That's gonna make it not too sweet. And then, yeah, so mix that up again. As you can see how the crust is like forming to my spoon or my spatula, and sticking together. That's what we want. And then, like I said, at the bottom of the layers, and then you add the chocolate cake on top. You'll see it in the beginning, but I forgot to film. All right, so here we're making our caramel sauce. This was really extra of me. You could just buy caramel sauce. It works the same, and this was hard. But just watch a video, look at it. There's plenty of recipes of caramel, so just make it. I made it. You'll see where I used it at the end, and that needs to be edited out. Okay, so we just need to let that boil for a while. I think I used like a cup and a half of sugar, a half a cup of water, some 5 tablespoons of butter, and a half a cup of heavy cream. Yeah, so we made some caramel. It's actually really good. It's in my fridge. I keep sticking my finger in it and eating it. So yeah, that's really good. So you just let that boil, make it come, and then add some salt, balance it out. Okay, salt is weird in baking, but I'm telling you, it just works. Just trust the process, okay? All right, so now this is me pouring it. I poured it in my sink because I didn't want to make a mess. So I poured it in this jar to let it cool because obviously you don't want to use burning hot caramel on your cake because then it'll just melt it and it'll be a mess. All right, so here's me flipping the cake, and you can see the crust that I was talking about. So you can flip it. I was struggling here, as you can see, with the towel and the hot pan, and I grabbed it with my bare hands. Don't do that. So I flipped the cake onto my wire rack so they can chill. As you can see, that shortbread crust was at the bottom, and I made chocolate cake on top. Um, like I said, I was struggling. Here's the second layer. These are 9-inch cake pans. So yeah, I used about 2 packets of shortbread cookies and about a stick of butter for the crust. Yeah. So I don't know why that's repeating, but oh, I flipped it the other way. Recommend don't doing this because my shortbread crust low-key fell apart when I was trying to flip it. So leave the shortbread at the top, and yeah, so that it doesn't break and it can cool and not too much pressure's on it. All right, so this is me making the buttercream. Just let that whip. Just leave it alone. We'll clean some dishes and just let that go for like minutes. It's gonna be better. All right, so in this, not pictured as me making toasted coconut. Sorry. And I just toasted some coconut. I mixed it with some caramel sauce and some condensed milk. It's so sticky and so thick, but just keep working it around. As you can see, I piped a barrier on the cake so that it didn't, like, fall out and be messy. So that's just buttercream that we made. And then, yeah, just spread that around. Okay, so now you can see the layers. You see the chocolate cake, the shortbread crust, the middle with the toasted coconut, and then the chocolate, and then the shortbread crust. Okay, so now just there's gonna be crumbs everywhere from the shortbread crust. So a crumb coat is like really really needed. Okay, so just put some icing on there, crumb coat. I think I put it in the refrigerator for the freezer for like 2-3 minutes, just so it made it solid, so the crust and crumbs didn't go everywhere, and it just kind of sealed within the buttercream. So here I'm just kind of smoothing it out. Don't worry about it. Everything is going to be covered up. So this is like an easy cake because you don't need it to be like... Also, you can see that this is super, super not... It has a little slant to it, a little gangsta lean. Okay? Just let it be. It's going to be all right. So back to that caramel sauce we made. I'm going to messily drip this. Caramel was everywhere in my kitchen. So yeah. Just be ready to clean up. Get some Clorox wipes and clean it up. This was the caramel. I just used a spoon. Tried to make it drip nicely. It dripped everywhere. So yeah, just let that rock. So I'm just spooning it on there, letting it drip. Now, You can see that you'll see later on that I put some toasted coconut at the top, and I recommend doing the chocolate before. So keep doing this like with the caramel because it worked out well for me, but you'll see. Okay, so this is when I added the toasted coconut. Literally just put the coconut in the oven and just keep watching it. I put a timer on my like microwave and just like every 2 minutes checked it to see the toastiness level. So yeah, just some toasted coconut. I highly recommend putting it on the baking sheet you made the coconut in because the coconut will go everywhere and there'll be more cleaning up. I had caramel everywhere, so I really didn't want coconut everywhere. So I put my turntable on the baking sheet with all the coconut and just put it all over there. Okay, you can see me shaking it. Okay. Okay, so this is where I decided to add the chocolate. And I probably should have added the chocolate right after I added the caramel, but that was too much like right. Okay, so then I added the chocolate here. And so this was like dripping everywhere because it was getting caught on the coconut and then it was just kind of making a mess and it wasn't very aesthetically pleasing. So it's just like falling in clunks with coconut stuck to it. So after the caramel, then do the chocolate, okay? This chocolate was just literally those little meltables, and then I put some cream in it and melted it, and that was it, okay? Nothing crazy. All right, so here, as you not pictured me writing really bad writing HBD on there saying happy birthday, and then I should probably mention this was my husband's birthday cake. This is what he wanted. So now I'm just piping some nice little cute rosette thingies with the tip and just putting them in a circle. They were off centered, all different sizes. It's the thought that counts. So yeah, just adding those with the same buttercream I used. I just put it in a bag and then I ran out of icing. So this is me struggling to get the icing, more icing to come out. You can see me squeezing with all my might to get this little bit of piece out, and I'm like, okay, that looks really bad. I'm trying to like add more. It didn't work. Okay, so that rosette was really bad. So I scraped it off, and this is me redoing it with more icing in my bag I added, and then I still messed it up, but I was like, okay, this is just gonna have to work. I fixed that one little rosette, and then I added like another one because this one looked a little small. It still looked a little crazy, but I was like, okay, we're gonna cover it up, so just let it rock. Okay, so then I just took one good look at it again. I'm like, okay, this is gonna work. And then I realized I messed up the D when I scraped off the rosette. So I just fixed that D right there so that it connected. So you can see me just kind of going over it like, okay, that's just gonna have to work. And then I put the cap on it and called it a day. I think I thought about like trying to fix something and I was like, nope, I'm gonna leave it alone. And then from there, I took the Pillsbury Coconut Dreams, I think that's what they're called, but really the Girl Scout Samoa cookies. And I took those cookies and cut them in half. I cut three in half at first and realized I had seven rosettes around. So I was like, dang, I need one more. So then I cut some more. And as you can see, I have like half the Samoa cookies on the little rosettes, which made it like cover up all the little messes I made. And then I put the final one on there. And then, happy birthday, Robert. Here's your cake. I hope you like it. Subscribe and follow. Anyways, that's the cake. Okay, thanks. Bye.